Hi, Cancer. Thank you very much for being here. Polina here, talking to you about this particular transit of Saturn going through the sign of Aquarius. Yay, it's no longer in your seventh house, it's going through your eighth house. Yay, rejoice. Rejoice. Okay, so the thing here that sometimes happens to us with Cancer aspects is we don't really want to know anything because we've been hurt before. We don't really want to see anyone because we don't trust them, or we just don't feel that great. And perhaps we start to get mindy or scrupulous about people. Don't make that. Don't do that. So here's where the last steps of Saturn going through Capricorn should have perhaps provided you something or somebody. It should have maybe meant you with the right people or the right job, maybe even the right territory or story. It perhaps could have given you the right time or just the right space to perhaps market your arts or be part of a collective of people. Perhaps it should have already given you a strong person, and maybe they're a mentor or a partner or just a person in the group, but there should probably be a strong person there and a strengthening now within whoever it may be that may have come out on top of everything else. And that is sometimes kind of like not okay for a Cancer, you know. And also, kind of like maybe trying not to notice things because you have your South Node in your DC point, and also you might have kind of like South Node touching on the seventh house, and you might like not really like or trust whoever they think they are or whoever they are, and that's fine. So basically, here Cancer gets mindy sometimes, so they can just become a little bit less interested in things now that they have them. Sometimes you might be no longer really that excited about a human being that it took you like 7 years to generate. You might be no longer in control of a certain situation, physically or psychically or globally or emotionally. You might actually no longer want someone in your life. You might actually no longer really even count certain people in. You might actually be very fussy about a certain even site, you know, a certain thing. And you might also no longer find certain dreams and certain aspirations economical, but these are your previous dreams, and that's fine. Okay, so Cancer, Saturn should have established you pretty well with a person or just one other person, you know, one other being, or just a home or a center, or just like a center point in the last steps of Capricorn, and there should be just no qualm. And this is like how come now wonderful global unity seeking Cancer starts to show face is because they are kind of down. So that's kind of interesting. If you have a Cancer person in your life and they're giving you like the finger or the eye and just like closing the door on you, some of the time is because there is a certain type of portal that has been already explored and closed, and certain people with cancer in their sign may no longer be as enthused by certain people or certain cause and effect socially, societally, especially, or just with the place they are now. And here's a Cancer that's been fighting there, you know, fighting to be somewhere, fighting for a certain person's heart for maybe quite a long time, and they knew this is where they would belong. And then yet again, they kind of like turn themselves off, like as if a tiny candle just going off. And on some wavelength, they're going to light up very soon or very quickly now. So it feels to me that all of a sudden Cancer no longer needs that homebody to be their counterpart, or maybe they no longer like that type of person, or they just like no longer find interest in a certain type of tribe. And this is where it's very, very important to basically watch yourself. Watch Cancer, like watch a Cancer, watch yourself, Cancer, also. What you do now spark and where you now no longer want to belong. So there is something very, very futuristic about all of us in this particular time, especially the younger ones, I suppose, and the ones with a big epic dream. So all of a sudden, perhaps no longer a student, now a teacher, all of a sudden, or a practitioner, there is something that you need to light or enjoy, as well as perhaps understanding the past. The thing here is that it's your choice. It's your choice. You can put out all the previous flames. You can just put out all the previous candles, like all the people that have been minding you before, all the things that you've had before. But at the same time, it's like a part of me saying, don't do that. Like, why would you do that? Okay, so you've reached a certain point. You painted yourself a picture of life or this person in your life. And there's nothing really that you have to be even grateful for now. You just accept it. You just maybe even survive or thrive or just manifest on this level. But the thing here is Cancer, doesn't want to feel any hurt from disappointment and just not feeling right about it. It's like looking at these cards, you know, looking at these faces, or like looking at where you are now and just feeling a ghost. And those of us with extreme cancer situations, like super strong cancer moons and risings and stuff, sometimes we don't really like what it is in the end so much, and we can't understand it at all, that we have got to just close the eyes and drift off and just drift off and just drift off and in ways remanifest. But the thing here is that your sparkle has to know where it's going. Okay, so for example, you no longer want to manifest with this person, you recognize they're predatory or something. And here's you, like, not knowing. It's like, okay, so you saying to me this person is the person. It's like, yes, through cause and effect, this is the person. It's like, okay, all right, but where do I go? Like, I finally fully see the cause and effect. And if you are, and we're in Pisces now, which is really super simple, you just dissolve. You just allow, you just let it wash over you like a big shower. And it feels to me that one of the greatest things for you guys, as you have really come prepared, you've got like huge preparational light about you. It's like super prepared. There's like a practicality. It's not just practicality, it's like a full glow of humble human, good earthy innocence that is coming through Cancer right now. You could just basically, in a sense, just just shave it off. It's like you're just shaving off that style of life, or just shedding. It's like you're just shedding that. And the thing here is not to have any regret. It's more important, I feel, for you now to know in which abundant thing that you're investing in, and to know that it is an absolutely abundant thing. So, for example, you could have been fighting for this guy last 7 years, or you could have manifested someone in your mind for the last 7 years. And here it is, and the situation perhaps is real and rich at the same time. It's futile, or it's very angry or aggressive. And perhaps you can see now, like, the correlation between you, your father, and him, and how that sort of created this really undeveloped energy. But then at the same time, for example, you might want to invest in something else. And this is where Cancer might meet lots of different people at the same time, simultaneously, you know, and suddenly there's people pulling you by the hand, or there's like a completely new phenomenon rising out of that previous, maybe even nightmare. But the thing here is, Cancer can't just walk away. They got to know and sort of predict, in a sense. They have to have a predictive personality here, like switch on, to kind of understand and know what that means, and how's it all gonna sit, and like what is all gonna measure in the end if you do actually decide to hand in your chips, or hand in, not even hand in, but like dissolve, as we are in Pisces now, dissolve that big part of your dream in some way, to manage another very fast. So it could be very quick turnaround, walking away from one partner into a shape of another. It could be very fast. Throughout your life, you might actually have the ultimate wisdom and attunement come in so super fast. Sometimes you don't even know how it happens. So you could actually walk away from one group or one archetype of people and just walk into a completely different place. It's like very, very easy, and it's very kind of like subduing for us sometimes, because all that ignorance that you find in the world, all these things that you have to fight or perhaps go through with other people, everything that you've ever noticed about the world, all of these things that you live through, sometimes pay off just right, because you have the wisdom and the power in these particular windows, in these changes of time, that is beyond the ordinary. And you can just like wipe out one thing and wipe in another, which I believe is extraordinary and something that is very amazing. But the thing here, yes, is that the transit goes on, of course, 2020, you know, year goes on. I think that you have many responsibilities during this particular time, and you might have to know now as to how you esteem in society, and also what is your global overall discipline is, and how you, as an adult, as a fully fledged human being, as a big power actually, comply, or how you compete even, or just realign life and whoever's within it. So it feels to me that 2020, up until July 2021 would probably be one of those really interesting, trying times when you basically see yourself, your sense of light, also your adulthood and your discipline as a way to journey. So you might actually have to be one of those very, very enlightened people in terms of money, in terms of come and go, in terms of what stays, what leaves, in terms of how to fluctuate resources as well, and what to do with time. So it feels to me that you might be one of those very, very also addictive people to someone, because you know or you've noticed how to aid one another, or how to make impression, or how to even control a situation some of the time. And then these types of relationships that you're building now, between 2020 and 2021, of course, are going to perhaps stay for a really long time, or these types of variants or essences or these types of spectrums are going to be one of the luckiest things for you to develop. So your stability, your integrity, the truth of your everyday life and the truth of your now, but also the truth of your money, the truth of how you deal bread at a table, you know, the truth of how you portray yourself with other people, what you talk about, and the economic value or the economical relationships and situations and actions are going to really start to um, pull you into shape right about now. So it feels to me that how you are, how you treat one another, what you do for a job, and why you are there is all going to start to really make sense to everyone. And this is the value or the style of life that you may not be able to erase or eradicate for quite some time. But as long as you are prepared, and it feels to me that Cancers are, as long as you're strong, as long as you are a good, willing citizen and a strong, needed adult, I think that everything is going to come right. But by the end of this, by even March already, 2021, you might not actually really want to anymore. And then you start to develop your soul. So it feels to me by 2021, March, April, May, you already are going to start to want to sing more, or to dance more, or to evolve the ethereal liquidy states that Cancer likes to have. And then until about 2023 already, you will know what you want and not just what you can handle. So not just like what you can cope with, what you can control, what you can associate with, or what you can be assigned. It's more about what you actually want. So things get very juicy for us all with Cancer situations. It feels like the juiciness is within that particular tribe or these particular evolutions or involvements that at first perhaps may have started a little bit of like with a crumble, or a little bit with a cause and effect, or something needed to be done, fixed, said, therapy had to be applied, or certain things had to be noted. But these things eventually start to really sing. And I also trust that by the end of 2023, by the end of this transit in 2023, March 2023, you're no longer the one who mops up around or after other people. So you might be not the one that is noted for perhaps a very strong physique and very, very well equipped um, essence, or very well equipped set of things. I actually believe that by 2023 you will start to notice that nobody really wanted you to ever really be that bad. You know, nobody really wanted you to be that concerned or that super super needed in a way, ironically. And then everyone eternally just really wished for your essence and for your story to be told. And in turn, you will also maybe find that there is like a big answer to your prayer, or a big answer to your picture, for space and time kind of like placed or laced together with other people's lives. So there could be people trying to promote you, there could be people trying to place you somewhere beautiful, there could be helping hands that weave the rest of your life by the end of this transit. But these have to be also concerned people, so they can't just be people that masquerade you around and like throw your energy around left, right, and center. So it's like, do you deserve to be loved that much? In a sense, it's like, did you provide enough care and kindness, and were you aware and awake and adult enough and maybe parental enough in the first part of this transit to be able to receive like a huge applause or maybe a huge grace. And some people might have fame here. Some people might just get promotions maybe by the end of this transit in 2023, already 2022. You might know how you resonate with others and what other people resonate with within yourself. And it also feels to me that most of us with any Cancer aspects are going to start to really navigate those greater heights with other people basically holding us, or seeing us or feeling us, and also on some level just being as if part of us. So this is where Cancer becomes more like Leo in the greater light of day, and starts to work towards largeness and grandness and just that overall light, which is more like just the soul speaking to the rest of us. And these are the people that you might need. Perhaps are those who are the most needy now. So whoever's needy now, perhaps is going to eventually support you. And of course, you can grow one another during this time. I believe you're already growing one another here. So I think that whatever you might suspect by now already that you're growing or you're contributing to, could eventually in the right due moment of space and time become one of your supporters or systems. So like the work that you put into your garden, the work that you put into your life, the work that you put into your public presence, maybe for some, depending on what is the crux of your public presence. And also the work that you do for all of us and the work that you do with the world is going to inevitably start to humor you and make you eventually, by 2021, already very well established, to just enjoy, have fun, and be without any mental, emotional, or social pollution. And then by 2023, I feel it like trusts in us so much, what we have done, what we've become, or what we have reaped, or what we have sown, that you will start to see a huge, massive result. So it will be like a segue experience for some of us, most of us with Cancer aspects, where people don't control you anymore. They don't contort what you're saying. They're basically holding you to your capacity to give. So if you have a lot to give, and also how you give and how you trade and exchange in the first part of this transit is going to really mirror and show you who you have around you that will probably inevitably eventually champion you, or even mask your wounds and your fears, and start to support who you are, and also in a sense fertilize or make more of that which you want to grow. So accept help and communion, and it also feels to me that fun and joy eventually inevitably maybe turns into a job or a scope or a place of leadership in society, which is only going to take place once you know who you are through the gift of life, of giving. Okay, so thank you very much, Cancer. Enjoy, and I hope that you like the trade and exchange during this window, and the cause and effect that are going to take you there is already set up. It's already prepared. It's almost like the sleigh and the horses are already, they're already open for you. So just everything, like the transport is ready. So like the next step is for your liking. The best thing though is not to replace one thing with another now, just to let it go. And if you are really feeling fear, and if you don't feel at all well looked upon, or if you feel absolute psychic or emotional concern for certain aspects, especially people in your life at this moment in time, you can just take some time out. And for some of us, we just need to close our eyes and everything will dissolve. So thank you very much. Enjoy, and I'll see you next time. Bye.